Arctic is one of the most extreme places on Earth, where freezing temperatures and endless ice seem impossible to survive. But against all odds, the indigenous tribes of this icy wilderness have not just survived, they have thrived. From hunting in pitch darkness to building homes made of snow and ice, we will be looking at 10 Arctic tribes whose practices and traditions have shocked scientists and left the world in awe. 1. Aleut tribe. Imagine a people so connected to the ocean that the waves practically run through their veins. The Aleut aren't just people, they are living proof of human strength. Their story isn't sweet. When Russian traders arrived, everything changed. Fur became more important than human life. Sea otters and seals were hunted until entire ecosystems collapsed. Diseases swept through their communities like wildfire. From 25,000 people, they were reduced to just 2,000. But giving up? Not their style. Their language, Unangam Tunu, fights to stay alive. Only 109 people still speak it fluently. But those 109, they are warriors protecting something precious. Every word is a battle cry against forgetting. Hunting wasn't just a skill, it was poetry. Men in tiny skin-covered kayaks would chase massive sea creatures. Women gathered everything the land offered: fish, birds, berries. Each person played a critical role in keeping their community alive. World War II brought another nightmare. The US government forcibly moved them to terrible internment camps. Families were torn apart, traditions nearly destroyed. It wasn't until 1988 that they received any kind of recognition, a tiny bandage on a massive wound. But here's the magic. They're still here, still fighting, still remembering. 2. Korak. Now imagine a world where survival isn't just about staying alive. It's an art form perfected over thousands of years. Welcome to the universe of the Korak people, where every breath is a dance with nature's wildest moods. Picture a landscape so harsh that most would run screaming. But the Korak. They laugh in the face of freezing winds and endless snow. Their homes are like living, breathing creatures, half buried underground in winter to keep warm, light and airy tents in summer that catch every whisper of wind. Here, reindeer also aren't just animals for the Korak. They are family, lifeline and magic all rolled into one. Every single part of the reindeer tells a story. The meat feeds hungry mouths, the skin becomes warm clothing, bones transform into tools that work like magic. Nothing, absolutely nothing, goes to waste. Their leadership isn't about one big boss shouting orders. Nope. The Korak make decisions together, like one giant family where everyone's voice matters. But there's one person who stands out. If you guessed the shaman, then you're correct. These aren't just spiritual leaders. They are cosmic translators who can talk to spirits, drum up healing, and keep the community's soul burning bright. When summer comes, the Korak turn into nature's most clever foragers. Women become berry-picking wizards, finding sweet treasures hidden in the short Arctic summer. Along the coast, they become master boat builders, crafting vessels from wood and animal skins that slice through icy waters like they were born to do it. But life hasn't been kind. Soviet policies tried to wash away their language, their traditions. In 2007, when the Koryak Autonomous Okrug got swallowed up by Kamchatka Krai, it felt like their voice was being stolen. Their language, once a thundering river of identity, started to shrink to a tiny stream. 3. The Khanty and Mansi tribe. Deep in Siberia's wild heart, two tribes have a relationship with bears that would make most people's jaws drop. The Khanty and Mansi don't just respect bears, they see them as family, as ancestors, as the very heartbeat of their world. Imagine a bear hunt that's more of a spiritual ceremony than a hunting trip. When a bear is killed, it's not celebrated with typical hunter's pride. No, these tribes throw a massive festival. They sing, they dance, they tell stories. all to honour the bear's spirit. The bear's skin gets special treatment, decorated with ribbons and placed in a position of absolute respect inside their home. Their supreme god, Num Torum, is like the ultimate cosmic parent. And guess what? The bear is considered his son. This isn't just an animal, this is royalty. Family matters big time for the Khanty and Mansi. Everything flows through the male line, traditions, ceremonies, social structure. But don't think this means women are pushed aside. Their community is a living, breathing thing where everyone plays a crucial role. Ceremonies are like magical theatre. People dress up as characters from nature and their community. Their connection to the land runs deep. Forests, rivers, even tigers. Everything provides what they need to survive. The Khanty might have Arctic roots, while the Mansi carry stories of ancient migrations. Each clan has its own special patch of land, its own unique rhythm that changes with the seasons. 4. Gwich'in tribe. Some people have pets. The Gwich'in have something far more sacred, a bond with caribou that goes beyond anything most can imagine. When Sarah James, a legendary leader, says caribou are not just what we eat, they are who we are, she's not just talking. She's revealing a truth that runs deeper than blood. Imagine a connection so strong that their creation myths speak of a time when humans and caribou were literally the same being. When they were separated, they made a promise to always honour each other. And boy, do the Gwich'in keep that promise. Caribou aren't just food, they are everything. Hides become tents that laugh at freezing winds. Fur turns into clothing that's warmer than any modern jacket. Bones become tools that work like magic. Every single part tells a story. These aren't just hunters, they are master trackers who understand caribou migration like most people understand breathing. Generations of knowledge flow through their veins, telling them exactly where the caribou will go, how they will move, what they will do. But here's where it gets wild. When oil companies threatened the caribou's sacred calving grounds, the Gwich'in didn't just protest, they became warriors. They fought with everything they had to protect not just an animal, but their entire way of life. The Gwich'in Social and Cultural Institute isn't just an organisation, it's a shield, a keeper of stories, a protector of a bond that's older than any government, any oil company, any modern idea of survival. 5. The Evens and Evenks tribe. When the wind whispers through Siberia's frozen forests, it carries stories older than time itself. Stories of the Evens and Evenks. People who didn't just survive in one of the world's most brutal landscapes, but turned it into a magical kingdom of survival and spirit. Imagine a world where your home can be packed up in hours, where every single thing around you is alive and talking, where survival is an art form passed down through generations. This is the universe of the Evens and Evenks, people who laugh at temperatures that would make most humans turn into human icicles. Their story begins over 3,000 years ago, when their ancestors first danced between Lake Baikal and the Amur River. These weren't just tribes, they were storytellers, survivors, shapeshifters, who could read the land like most people read a book. The Tungusic-speaking people didn't just live in Siberia, they became Siberia. When Russian explorers and wild Cossacks came stomping into their world, everything changed. But did the Evens and Evenks just roll over? No way. They resisted, they adapted, they transformed. The fur tax called Yasak tried to break them, pushing them into new lands, forcing them to stretch their incredible survival skills to the absolute limit. Their homes were pure magic, conical tents that could be set up faster than you can make instant noodles. Made from birch bark or reindeer hides, these weren't just shelters, they were living, breathing organisms that could laugh at -50-degree temperatures and still keep a family warm and cozy. Here's a mind-blowing fact. The word shaman itself comes from the Evenki language. These weren't just spiritual leaders, they were cosmic translators who could slip between human and spirit worlds like it was nothing. Imagine having someone in your community who could heal the sick, talk to spirits, and predict the future, all before breakfast. Their diet was a survival masterpiece. Reindeer meat, fish, elk, red deer. They turned the brutal Siberian landscape into a buffet of survival. Fish skins weren't trash. They became clothing. Every single thing had a purpose, a story, a magical transformation. But survival wasn't just about individual skills. These were community people. When hunting time came, everyone pitched in. No one was left behind. Elders and shamans weren't just respected, they were the living libraries that kept their entire culture alive. Languages tell stories too. The Evenki and even languages belong to the Manchu-Tungusic family, a linguistic connection that links them to other indigenous Siberian peoples. But here's the heartbreaking part. These incredible languages are disappearing. As younger generations get pulled into the Russian world, ancient words are fading like footprints in melting snow. Their resistance wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. When colonizers tried to change them, they didn't just fight back. They transformed, they absorbed, they survived. By 1700, they might have been technically subdued, but their spirit? That was unbreakable. Imagine a people so connected to the land that every tree, every river, every gust of wind tells a story. The Evens and Evenks aren't just survivors. They're living proof that human spirit can turn the most brutal landscape into a magical kingdom of survival, spirit, and incredible resilience. Their story isn't over. It's still being written, whispered by winds, carried by reindeer, remembered by elders who refuse to let their incredible legacy fade away. 6. The Yukagir tribe. The Yukagir people call the vast frozen wilderness of Siberia their home, a place so cold that breathing feels like swallowing razor-sharp ice. For generations, they have transformed this seemingly impossible environment into a living, breathing world full of spirit and meaning. Every single thing in their world, from the tiniest pebble to the most massive mountain, pulses with its own spiritual energy. Walking through their landscape isn't just moving through physical space, it's engaging in a constant, intricate conversation with the living world around them. Their understanding of reality goes far beyond what most people can comprehend. Where others might see a forest, the Yukagir see a complex network of relationships, with each tree, animal, and wind current possessing its own consciousness. Their shamans, known as Alma, are extraordinary individuals who can bridge the visible and invisible worlds. These aren't simply religious leaders or healers. They are complex spiritual practitioners who negotiate with unseen forces, diagnose problems by communicating with spirits, and restore balance to their community's physical and metaphysical existence. Hunting for the Yukagir is a sacred ritual that goes far beyond mere survival. Before a hunter sets out, elaborate ceremonies are performed to request permission from the animal's spirit. They believe that every creature has its own dignity, its own right to exist, and that hunting is a respectful negotiation, not a conquest. Dreams occupy a central place in Yukagir culture, representing something far more significant than random nighttime stories. These are considered direct communications from another realm, carrying vital messages about weather, potential dangers, or spiritual warnings. A dream about a storm isn't just an imaginary scene. It could be a genuine prediction of incoming harsh conditions. Their shamans are skilled interpreters who can decode these mystical messages, helping their community navigate both physical and spiritual challenges. Before modern tools existed, the Yukagir crafted everything they needed directly from nature's offerings. Hunting gear emerged from carefully carved wood and bone, Fishing tools were shaped from stones and branches, and their homes transformed with the seasons. Strong wooden structures protected them during brutal winters, while lighter skin shelters served them during brief summers. They didn't merely live in nature, they became an integral part of its complex ecosystem, understanding and respecting its rhythms in ways most modern societies have forgotten. Their primary spiritual force, Pugu, functions like an all-seeing, all-knowing guardian who maintains cosmic balance. Imagine a divine presence that observes every action, understands every thought, and ensures that the fundamental order of existence remains undisturbed. For the Yukagir, every single action carries weight because Pugu is perpetually watching, maintaining a delicate equilibrium between the human and spiritual worlds. When exceptional individuals like shamans pass away, their relationship with the community doesn't end. Their remains are preserved as sacred treasures, with the belief that the shaman spirit continues to guide and protect the community even after physical death. This perspective transforms death from a final ending into another form of continued existence, another stage of spiritual journey. 7. Sami tribe. The Sami people inhabit a landscape where the world turns blindingly white, and the sky seems to merge seamlessly with the ground. Stretching across Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia, their homeland is a massive territory of snow, ice, and profound magic that has sustained them for millennia. At the center of their existence are reindeer, not merely animals, but true family members who are integral to every aspect of Sami life. A Sami individual's knowledge of reindeer is so profound that it transcends what most would consider possible. They understand every nuance of these creatures, their walking patterns, dietary needs, survival strategies in the most extreme environments. Nothing goes to waste in their culture. Reindeer meat becomes nourishment, their skin transforms into clothing, and their bones are crafted into essential tools. Their traditional food, particularly a hearty stew called beitdos, made from reindeer meat, potatoes, and carrots, is more than mere sustenance. Each meal is a living connection to hundreds of years of cultural memory. When a Sami family gathers to eat, they're not just consuming food, they're participating in a ritual that links them directly to their ancestors, telling stories of survival, resilience, and profound connection to their environment. The seasonal migration with reindeer herds is nothing short of an art form. As temperatures and landscapes shift, the Sami move their herds with incredible precision, finding fresh grazing areas. This isn't random wandering, but a carefully orchestrated journey that ensures the survival of both the human and animal communities. Even today, approximately 10,000 Sami continue this ancient practice, protected by special laws that recognize the cultural significance of their traditional lifestyle. Their traditional clothing, the gakti, functions as a complex communication system. Every color, pattern, and design tells a story about the wearer's identity, family history, geographical origin, and potential profession. Wearing a gakti is like wearing a three-dimensional biography, a walking historical document that speaks volumes without uttering a single word. Music in Sami culture, particularly the ancient art of joik, represents far more than entertainment. This unique singing style, considered one of Europe's oldest musical traditions, is a method of honoring and capturing the essence of people, animals, and places. When a Sami person performs a joik, they are not simply singing, they are creating a living, breathing musical portrait that channels the spirit of its subject. 8. Yupik tribe. The Yupik people have mastered survival in a world where ocean meets ice, creating a way of life that seems impossible to outsiders. Their existence is so deeply intertwined with the Arctic environment that they have essentially become one with the ice, water, and harsh landscapes that surround them. For the Yupik, The world is alive in a way that goes beyond simple physical existence. Every element, from trees and rocks to fish and wind, possesses its own spirit and consciousness. Their primary spiritual force, Elam Yuar, represents the ultimate creative and connective power of the universe. This isn't just a distant, abstract concept, but a living, breathing presence that created everything, watches over all existence, and maintains the intricate connections between all living things. Through Elam Yuar, the Yupik understand the world as a complex, interconnected system where every element plays a crucial role. Hunting for the Yupik is a nuanced, deeply respectful practice that extends far beyond mere food procurement. Using specialized tools like harpoons and kayaks, hunters engage in elaborate ceremonial preparations, seeking permission from the animal's spirit before taking its life. This isn't a violent conquest, but a delicate, collaborative conversation that acknowledges the spiritual dignity of the creature being hunted. Their artistic traditions, particularly their mask making, represent something far more profound than decorative craft. Each mask is a magical object capable of telling stories, capturing spirits, and bridging different spiritual realms. Intricately carved with incredible skill and deep symbolic meaning, these masks are living narratives that communicate complex cultural knowledge and spiritual understanding. Survival in the Arctic demands more than individual skill. It requires absolute community cooperation. The Yupik construct special underground houses called kashim, which are far more than simple shelters. These are living, breathing community spaces where survival depends on collective effort, shared resources, and deep interpersonal connections. In these harsh environments, individual survival is impossible. Only through profound cooperation can the community endure. 9. Nanette's tribe. In the most extreme corner of our planet, where winter reigns supreme and temperatures plunge into realms that seem impossible for human survival, the Nanette's people have not just survived, they have transformed the harshest environment on Earth into their magnificent kingdom. This isn't just a story of human endurance, it's a testament to the extraordinary relationship between a people and the unforgiving landscape they call home. The world of the Nanettes is a universe of white, a landscape so vast and so cold that breathing feels like swallowing shards of ice. But where others would see only a deadly wilderness, the Nanettes see a living, breathing entity with its own language, its own rhythms, and its own soul. Their understanding of snow goes far beyond what most humans could ever imagine. Where we might see a simple snowflake, a Nanette's elder can read entire meteorological stories, predicting storms, understanding animal migrations, and determining safe travel routes. Their language reflects this profound connection. While most languages might have 1 or 2 words for snow, the Nanettes have dozens, each describing a different texture, quality, and potential of the snow around them. A single snowflake can tell them about incoming weather patterns, potential hunting grounds, or the health of the reindeer herds. It's a language so complex and nuanced that it transforms what seems like a blank, white landscape into a rich, information-packed canvas. The Nanette's homes, called chums, are nothing short of architectural miracles. These cone-shaped tents constructed from reindeer skin are not just shelters, they are living, breathing survival machines. When temperatures plummet to an almost unimaginable 50 degrees centigrade, these seemingly simple structures become warm, protective havens. They can be assembled and disassembled with such speed and precision that it would make modern camping enthusiasts look like clumsy amateurs. Each chum is a perfect example of how indigenous knowledge creates solutions that modern technology struggles to match. Reindeer are not merely animals in Nanette's culture, they are the very foundation of existence. These incredible creatures provide everything: food, transportation, clothing, and spiritual connection. A Nanette's child learns about reindeer before they can fully walk, understanding their movement patterns dietary needs, and survival strategies. Family and clan structures among the Nenettes are intricate and powerful. Each clan has its own unique traditions, spiritual practices, and unwritten laws that have been passed down through countless generations. The elders are not just respected, they are revered as living libraries of cultural knowledge. They hold stories that stretch back hundreds of years, maintaining the delicate thread of cultural continuity in a world that is constantly changing. The Tadibia, or shamans, occupy a unique and crucial role in Nenette society. They are far more than spiritual leaders. They are complex practitioners who maintain the balance between the human world and the natural world. When a community faces challenges, whether spiritual, physical, or environmental, the Tadibia are the ones who communicate with unseen forces, negotiate with spirits, and guide the community through complex transitions. However, the Nenette's traditional way of life faces unprecedented challenges in the modern world. Industrial projects like the Yamal mega project are dramatically transforming their ancestral lands. Massive infrastructure developments, oil and gas exploration, and climate change are creating unprecedented pressures on their traditional migration routes and hunting grounds. Pollution seeps into their pristine environments, and traditional migration patterns that have existed for thousands of years are being disrupted. Yet, the Nenettes demonstrate an extraordinary capacity for adaptation. They are not passive victims of change, but active negotiators of their future. Many are finding ways to preserve their cultural traditions while simultaneously engaging with modern technologies and economic systems. Young Nenettes are learning to balance traditional knowledge with contemporary skills. Their spiritual world is as complex and nuanced as their physical environment. Their worldview doesn't separate humans from nature, but sees them as integral, interconnected parts of a larger, breathing system. The Nenettes represent something far more significant than a mere ethnic group surviving in extreme conditions. They are living philosophers of survival, masters of adaptation, and keepers of a profound understanding of human potential. Their culture challenges our understanding of what it means to not just survive, but to thrive in conditions that would break most human spirits. 10. Inuit Tribe. The Inuit people have created a way of life that is nothing short of magical. This isn't just a story about living in a cold place. This is a story about turning the most challenging environment on Earth into a home full of love, wisdom, and incredible skill. Imagine a landscape so big and so white that it looks like the world just stops at the horizon. Here, the Inuit don't just live, they dance with nature in a way that most people can't even imagine. Every single day is like a beautiful, dangerous adventure where staying alive means being super smart, super strong, and super connected to everything around you. Hunting for the Inuit is way more than just getting food. It's like a special dance where they talk to the animals, the ice, and the wind. When they go out with their harpoons or bows, they are not just trying to catch something to eat. They are having a conversation with nature, showing deep respect for the life they are going to take. A hunter doesn't just see an animal, they see a friend, a provider, a part of their big family. When they catch an animal, nothing, and I mean nothing, gets wasted. Caribou meat becomes delicious food that feeds entire families. Its soft hide turns into warm clothing that can keep people alive in places so cold it would make most people's teeth chatter. Bones become amazing tools that help them survive. It's like the animal gives its entire self to help the community survive, and the Inuit honor that gift with every single piece they use. Their clothing is like a magical storybook that you can wear. A parka isn't just something to keep warm, it's a living history that tells everyone who you are and where you come from. Beautiful designs sewn into the fabric carry stories of families, of journeys, of survival. When an Inuit person walks around in their traditional clothing, they are basically wearing their entire family's history. The Inuit language, Inuktitut, is like a time machine filled with amazing stories and super smart knowledge. When an elder speaks, it's like opening a book that has been written by hundreds of generations. Young people listen carefully, learning about how to survive, how to respect nature, and how to be a good member of their community. Stories pass from grandparents to grandchildren, keeping their spirit and their way of life alive and strong. Their art is something totally special. Carved from bones, stones, and walrus tusks, each piece tells a story that words can't fully explain. These aren't just pretty things to look at. They are messages about survival, about connection to the land, about the deep relationship between humans and nature. A small sculpture can tell you more about Inuit life than 100 books. Their homes change with the seasons because they understand that nature is always moving and changing. In summer, they might live in light tents that can be moved easily. In the freezing winter, they build incredible igloos, not just shelters, but living spaces where the whole community comes together. Sharing isn't just something nice to do, it's how they stay alive. If one family catches a lot of food, everyone eats. If someone needs help, the entire community jumps in. But life isn't easy right now. The world is changing super fast, and the Inuit are feeling those changes more than most people. Store-bought food is slowly replacing hunting. Young people are caught between their traditional ways and a world that looks totally different from what their grandparents knew. Modern technology and big changes are like a giant wave that's pushing against their ancient way of life. Yet the Inuit aren't giving up. They're adapting, finding ways to keep their culture alive while also learning new skills. Young Inuit are learning both traditional hunting techniques and modern technology. They are creating a new way of life that respects their amazing history while also looking forward to the future. In a world that often forgets how amazing and different human cultures can be, the Inuit stand as a bright, powerful reminder. They are not just a group of people living in a cold place. They are philosophers of survival, artists of adaptation, and keepers of a wisdom that goes way beyond simple survival. Their story is a story of hope, of connection, and of the incredible things humans can do when they work together and respect the world around them. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos like this one.